Roy. I just wanted to let you know that I'm just about done with work for the day.
Got it. I guess that means you'll probably be heading home soon?
You weren't working at all today, right? Wasn't it your day off? Are you home right now?
Yeah, I really haven't left the house at all day.
Ah, I see. Well, you can go ahead and start getting ready for bed if you want. I left you some dinner in the fridge, so you can just heat that up, have your shower, and go to bed.
Alright, was today supposed to be leftovers day again?
I thought it was, yeah? Why do you ask? Are you not really in the mood for leftovers today?
No, it's not that. It's just that, well, there are no leftovers left.
Wait, what? Why? Did you already eat them for lunch or something like that?
Well, no, it's not that. They ended up in the garbage.
You mean you threw them away? Why would you do that? I spent so much time making them yesterday.
No, wait, hold on. I wasn't the one who threw them away. It was my mom. She was the one who did it.
You mean that your mom came over to the house today?
Yeah, she came over because she said she wanted to do some cooking for me. But the freezer was full of all the meals that you'd frozen for me, right? So she threw all the food away and made her own food and then went back home.
Ugh, I don't believe this. Why would she do something like that? And why didn't you do anything to stop her, Roy? That's such a huge waste of food.
You know how my mom gets if you even tell her no about anything. I just knew that it was going to save trouble for everyone if I just let her throw away the food and do what she wanted.
I disagree with you completely. Of course you shouldn't just let people throw out cooked food. I mean, you could have just taken your meal out to defrost. It didn't need to end up in the garbage.
Well, I already told you that it already wasn't up to me. My mom had already made her mind up. But it's not like we don't have dinner. We have all the food that my mom cooked for us. And since she was here for so long cooking, I'm sure that it's really good.
And you're sure that you're okay eating what your mom cooks for you?
Why wouldn't I be? I don't see what you mean.
I mean, you remember the doctor said that you need to be eating less salts and sugars, right? Knowing your mom, she cooks with a lot of oil, right? I really don't think you're supposed to be eating those kinds of foods, Roy.
Well, it's not like I'm having those kind of things every day. I'm sure I'm allowed one cheat day a week, right? Then I'll go back to eating my boring, bland, low-sodium meals.
But isn't your mom just going to keep coming over and cook for you once you finish what she made? I feel like she might take this as a sign that it's okay to do what she did again.
Well, if she really does show up wanting to do that, you can just tell her no.
Excuse me? Why should I be the one to tell your mom no? That seems like something you should do.
Are you crazy? My mom did all that cooking for my sake. I can't just turn around like that and be ungrateful to her.
But you're totally fine letting her throw away the food that I spent so much time cooking? Besides, if I were the one who spoke to her, then she would just use that as fuel to talk bad about me later.
Well, you'll just have to think of the right way to get across what you want to say to her is all.
Please do not try to make this into something that I need to be responsible for. I really don't think it's fair the way you're pushing all of this on me, and I wish you would stop.
So we just shouldn't care about my mom's feelings at all? You just want me to throw this food back at her face?
That's not what I said at all. But what I am saying is that this isn't the first time your mom has shown up, changed something about the house that she didn't like and associated with me, and then left.
What do you think this is all about you? My mom is doing this for me. She knows how to take care of her son, and I think that you might just be getting a little bit jealous.
I'm going to pretend like you didn't just send that last part. And you can think that all you want, but the point is that you're not a little boy anymore. We're married. I am your wife. And I'm telling you that your mom is interfering in our lives just a bit more than I'm really comfortable with.
Look, I hear you, okay? I'm taking in what you're saying, but my mom is just trying to take care of us. That's it. There's really not much point in fighting this.
You say you're listening, but I feel like I haven't been heard at all. When your mom comes over and messes around with our house and our lives, it really makes me upset.
Aaron, really? What's the matter with you? I didn't take you for this kind of person. She's my mom. She's not some nosy neighbor or something. Where do you get off complaining this much over a person who just wants to help?
Are you really telling me that I'm in the wrong for asking you to tell your mom to not throw away our food? Why are you always taking her side over mine? It really makes me mad when I feel like I can't count on you when it comes to things like this.
I've already told you that my mom is really headstrong, and even if I tried to say something, she still wouldn't listen. You just need to learn to let things go and quit taking everything to heart.
Roy, I see that we've received a whole bunch of handmade masks from your mom.
She sent us a bunch of masks? I wonder why. We already have plenty.
I assume that she wants you to use these. She left a note saying that she hopes these are better on your skin than the store-bought ones. But there must be at least 50 masks here.
Well, I'm not gonna wear something handmade when the machine-made masks are probably more reliable.
You always do this, Roy. This isn't the first time this has happened. There was that year your mom sent you a whole bunch of scarves and another where she sent you 3 handmade sweaters. You refused to even try them on and then just dumped them out in the closet. Our closet is now almost half full of your unused gifts.
Ugh, my mom can seriously be so annoying sometimes. I mean, what self-respecting adult is gonna wear a sweater their mom knit for them?
If you really dislike them that much, why don't you just throw them away? And if you're not going to use these masks, I'd like to throw them away too.
Whoa, you can't just throw away gifts that someone made by hand for me. Besides, we can probably just turn those masks into good kitchen rags.
I really don't think the masks are thick enough to work that well as rags. Why not just return them to your mom and ask her to donate them or something?
Are you kidding me? You think that my mom is gonna be happy with me returning her masks like that? Why are you always trying to hurt her feelings?
I'm not trying to hurt her feelings, but I don't see why we have to keep everything she gives you if you're not even going to use it. I mean, even with all the food she made you, I ended up having to eat most of it so it didn't go to waste.
Well, excuse me, am I not allowed to get bored eating the same thing over and over again?
Well, why is it okay that I have to instead?
Ugh, you know that my mom really isn't that good of a cook. I had a couple of meals to be polite, but there was no way that I was ever gonna be eating all of that. My stomach was hurting after just one.
Then just tell her to stop doing so much for you. I mean, what do you want me to do with all of these masks?
I don't know, maybe we could just sell them online or something? There's plenty of resale apps and things like that.
So you do want to get rid of them? And just who is going to be handling selling these things? I'm really busy with work and taking care of the house, and I certainly don't have time to do this.
Oh, fine, I'll figure something out. Jeez, just leave them in a box somewhere and I'll handle it, okay?
Somehow, I think that they'll end up in a box and I'll be seeing them in the closet very soon. Just like those sweaters and scarves.
I said that I was gonna handle it, and I will, okay? Why can't you just trust me on this?
Because you always let your mom do whatever she wants around here. You do know that she's trying to set up a garden in our backyard, right? I had to really put my foot down and tell her no on that one.
Wait, what? But we barely even have a backyard. A garden would take up too much space.
Exactly, but she said she wanted to do it so that she could feed you even more.
But why does she have to set up a garden in our yard? Why not just do it at her house?
I don't know. Why don't you go ask her yourself?
But then again, we would never have to worry about buying vegetables again. Maybe this isn't such a bad idea after all?
But who is going to end up having to look after that garden, huh? It'll probably be me, and I don't want that to happen. You know how much I hate dealing with bugs and working out in the hot sun. Maintaining a garden is one of the last things that I want to do.
Oh, come on, I'm sure that you have a green thumb. You have to take care of it.
I am telling you that I do not want to, Roy.
Well, then I guess my mom will just have to come over every day to take care of that, won't she?
Wait a second. Is this the game you're trying to play? You think that you can get me to do whatever I want if you just threaten me with your mom coming over?
Well, that tells me all I need to know. You really don't like my mom coming over at all, do you?
It's not that. I'm just saying that I think your mom is involving herself with our lives a little bit too much. Why are you always trying to twist my words around like this? Besides, you know that telling your mom not to build a garden in our yard is just going to upset her, and I think that you want all that blame to fall on me.
Why are you acting so mean about this? Can't you at least talk to me nicer about my own mom?
I've tried talking about this nice and calmly with you, and you just refuse to listen to what I have to say. I am sick and tired of being left holding the blame when you try to deny your mom anything.
I don't really get what the big deal is. Why can't we just let her do whatever she wants?
Are you serious right now?
I just mean that if you really wanted to get on my mom's good side, this would be a great way to make that happen.
I should just let your mom do whatever she wants so that I can get her to like me?
Yeah, just leave her be and things will be fine. If she wants to start a garden, then who cares?
What has gotten into you? I really can't believe that you're suggesting we just let all of this happen.
All I'm saying is that I think you're being a little too tough on my mom. She's getting up there in age and needs hobbies to keep her mind sharp. This is a way that you can really help her in her old age.
Okay, fine then. Have it your way. I'll just sit back and let your mom do whatever she wants around our house.
Hey, where are you? Are you out running errands or something right now? I need you to get home right now. Mom is here and she's trying to move in.
Oh, really? Well, if that's what your mom wants to do, I think you should just let her, right?
You mean we should just let my mom move in with us? Why in the world would we ever want to do something like that?
Well, your mom has been talking about wanting to move in with us for a while. You don't think we should tell her no, do you? You were the one who said we should just let her do whatever she wants, right? So why not let her move in if that's something she's saying she wants to do?
How do you think the three of us are supposed to fit in a house this size? There's no way that we can make it work. Besides, I know that there's no way you'd be happy about living with my mom.
I'm actually moving out, so I don't care what she does.
Oh, wait, you don't really mean that, do you?
I do mean it. I think that you and I need to spend some time apart. I'm gonna go live with my sister for a little bit. So you and your mom will have all the time in the world to get to spend together.
What's the matter with you? Why are you leaving? You can't just disappear like this!
I told you over and over again that I was getting tired of your mom trying to interfere with our lives, right?
And that's why you're leaving? Because you're upset over my mom?
Do you have any idea just how much of my life I've lost to dealing with your mom's antics? All the while having to work and take care of the house? You have no idea just how tired I am.
But I still don't get why you're leaving. You do realize that I'm gonna have to eat my mom's cooking every single day now, right? I don't know how I'm gonna live.
Well, that doesn't sound like any of my business. But if you're really so upset, why not just tell your mom to move out? You have that right, you know.
I can't believe you. You have some petty little problems with my mom, and this is how you choose to act. Fine then, do whatever you want. See if I care.
You mean that you want me to do whatever I want to, too? Wow, that's very generous of you. Although I'm sure you just meant that as a way of saying that you want me to leave you alone because you can't be asked to face the consequences of what you've done.
You don't know what you've done, Erin. You leave the house, sit by while my mom moves in, and you're totally giving up on your wifely duties.
I have done more than my fair share of wifely duties, thank you very much. Anyways, enjoy spending all that time with your mom, Roy.
Erin, please come back home. I'm begging you. I'm so sorry for everything. Just please come back to me.
Oh no, Roy, what's the matter? You sound like something might be off.
It's my mom. She just can't leave me well enough alone. And she won't stop treating me like I'm some little kid.
Yeah, that adds up, I suppose. I told you that she had a habit of getting too much in other people's business.
Don't just talk to me about this like you don't have anything to do with it. The other day my mom told me that I was coming home too late from work, so she went with me to go to work the next day and talk to my boss about it. I was completely humiliated. I felt like a little kid.
It sounds to me like she's just worried that you're doing all right, Roy.
I know that that's probably it, but she's going about it in the worst possible way. She stormed in the building as if she owned the place and started yelling at my boss.
Oh, wow, well, that really just sounds no good.
It's been so hard to go into work ever since then. People are whispering behind my back and calling me Norman Bates like from Psycho, and it's horrible. And none of the women in my office want anything to do with me since they know what my mother is like.
It sounds to me like your mom has made this a way larger issue for you than just staying at your place. Although I'm sure if you just stood up for yourself and said something, she would stop.
I really don't think there's anything I could say to stop my mom from acting the way she is. I don't even know what would stop her at all at this point.
Well, all I can say is I'm glad I got out there when I did.
But I really need you to come back. This is serious. I just know that if you come back, Mom will probably just chill out about all this. She might even leave.
I really don't think that your mom is the kind of person to give up so easily like that. And even if I did come back, I doubt that she'd leave. She'd just turn all her anger on me instead.
Well, it's all your fault this is happening, so it really is the least that you could do.
But none of this is my fault at all. You were the one who insisted on letting your mom do whatever she wanted to do, and I just went along with what you said.
But it wasn't supposed to happen like this. Please, I don't even know how much more of this my body can take. I can't stand living with my mom anymore.
You're probably feeling so sick because of all the oily food your mom is cooking for you. You might have been able to eat like that when you were a kid, but you're an adult who has to be a little bit more careful now.
But I don't even want to eat her food. I'm going out to eat for most of my meals now. But then when I do, my mom just won't stop blowing up over the phone asking me where I am.
Wow, she really is treating you like a child, isn't she? I mean, the way you described, she probably thinks you're still in middle school. I wonder if she'll still be treating you this way when you're even older, too.
Please, Erin, I just want to eat your cooking. I need a healthy meal.
You know, I've been thinking a lot about what I want to do over the past 2 weeks I've been at my sister's, and I just don't really know that I can carry on like this.
That's right! You can come back and we'll kick Mom out and everything will return to normal.
Oh, no, sorry, that's not what I meant. I was actually talking about getting a divorce from you.
Wait, what? You want to get divorced? When did this come from all of a sudden?
Do you even have any clue what it was that was upsetting me so much? You never listened to a word I said to you about any of this, and you never took my side. Why wouldn't I want to divorce you?
Please, don't do this to me! You're upset because I was always asking you to deal with my mom, right?
I knew that you had no clue what this was about.
Well then tell me what it is that made you so mad about it!
What I'm about is the fact that you refuse to do anything for yourself. Whether it's your mom or I, you always need someone to take care of you. And now that you don't want to deal with your mom anymore, you're calling me in to do your dirty work.
It isn't really like that at all. Please, you have to understand!
I do understand. You're the one who doesn't, Roy. You told me to let your mom do whatever she wanted. I've just been doing what you told me to do. You asked for this, and now you're reaping the consequences. Enjoy being babied by your mother. After that, I heard that Roy continued to eat his mom's cooking, which only continued to worsen his health. Finally, I heard that he had to be prescribed a blood pressure medication and that he's put on several pounds of weight. Roy was desperate to find a way to get his mom to leave him alone and thought one way would be to find someone to marry him. Although any woman he got close enough to bring back home was instantly scared off by Roy's mom. Unfortunately, Roy still hasn't learned to stand up for himself, and I heard he's still letting his mom feed him every single day. Hey Bruce, it's been a while since we last talked. How have you been?
Oh wow, Selena, it really has been a while, hasn't it? I've been doing pretty well for myself lately, actually.
That's good to hear. Does that mean you're finally all settled into your new place? I heard that it's not too far from where I'm living. Is that true?
I think I'm about a 10-minute drive away from you guys, actually.
That's awesome. We're not quite neighbors, but it's close enough. It sounds like I could probably even just walk to your place if I wanted to.
Yeah, I mean, you probably could if you wanted to. But do you mind if I ask why you're messaging me? I feel like I almost never hear from you.
Oh, well, Mom is always telling me to reach out and keep in contact with you.
I was wondering if this had anything to do with Mom. I know she's always worried about us talking with each other since we have such a difference in age.
Yeah, but she is right. I feel like we don't actually talk as much as we probably should. I mean, I don't think we've even talked since you got married. Does that sound right?
I guess now that you say it, I think that is right.
And I just feel like I haven't seen you at any of the other family gatherings either. Not last New Year's, not for Thanksgiving, or anything like that.
Yeah, I haven't been able to make it out there and visit you all in a while.
But you're gonna come for 4th of July this year at least, right? I'll also be going back to visit Mom and Dad, so maybe we can meet there.
No, I don't think that's going to work. I'm not going to visit back home.
But why not? What's the matter? Our aunts and uncles and cousins are all going to be there too. You're not just avoiding all of these family functions, are you?
No, it's nothing like that. I really do want to go, but I just think that Barbara wouldn't like it if we went.
Oh, you mean Barb as in your wife?
Yeah, I think she really dislikes spending any time with our family. So I think that neither of us would have a good time if we showed up there. It just really wouldn't go well.
But I don't get it. Did we do something to upset her or make her not like us?
No, I don't think we've done anything wrong at all. The problem is that Barb just thinks our family is just a bunch of poor yokels, and that's why she hates being around us. She doesn't want our poorness to rub off on her, you know?
Are you serious? Is that really what her problem is? We're not even poor. I mean, it's not like we're super rich either, but still. That's so rude of her. Don't you think so, Bruce?
I think maybe she just looks down on anyone who lives outside of the country. I mean, she was born and raised in Los Angeles. And I think all her family have lived in big cities for a while, so I think she doesn't understand the appeal.
I don't believe this. Ugh, that really makes me mad, actually. Like, who does she think she is to just look down on us just because of where we were born? And on top of that, she's also the reason why you haven't been to any family gatherings at all.
I really do want to try visiting home and seeing everyone, but anytime I mention it, Barb just gets so upset, and I can tell the conversation just isn't going to get anywhere.
But surely you could just ignore more and come home by yourself now and then, right? I mean, she can't honestly expect you to just never see your family again. That's just ridiculous.
Well, I think that might actually be what she's thinking. I don't think she likes the fact that we're all so close. But when she gets mad, there's really no use to try and talk sense into her. She gets really pissed and just starts throwing things, and it's just a huge mess.
Oh my gosh, Bruce, that's just horrible of her. I really can't stand people who have just no control over their emotions. They make their problems everyone else's. I mean, the way you describe it, she sounds like she acts like a child.
I swear that most of the time she really is just a sweet woman, and we get along great. It's just when she gets mad. Anyway, that's why I haven't been able to and won't be able to join in any family events for the time being. I hope that you can understand where I'm coming from.
I understand it, but I refuse to just sit back and accept it. I mean, that's not fair that you're the only one being kept from joining the rest of us. Why are you even with her if she's trying so hard to control your life and keep you away from the rest of us?
Don't worry, I'm not going to let things like this last forever. I'm gonna try and catch Barb in a really good mood, and then I'll mention about visiting home.
But don't you realize that you shouldn't have to be negotiating with your wife over whether or not you're allowed to visit your own family? You're giving her way too much power over your life, and it's affecting the rest of us.
So you don't think it would work? I just don't know what to think or do about this.
I think that after all you've told me, it sounds like you give her too much leeway, especially if she's just throwing things at you. I don't know. If I were you, I don't think I could stand to stay in a situation like that.
I know, but it would be like so bad as a husband if I just ran on out there. I think it'll be okay. I just have to be patient. I know that she'll change her mind. We just have to give it some time.
Bruce, don't let your kindness be your downfall. If you ever need someone to talk to about any of this, you can always reach out to me, okay? I'll always be there to listen.
Thank you so much, Selena.
Hey Bruce, I was just wondering if you like grapes. I got a whole bunch from a friend and I was going around giving them to our relatives since I won't be able to eat them all. Do you think I could come over to deliver them?
I'm really sorry, Selena, but I'm not home right now. I'm actually away on a business trip.
Oh, shoot, I didn't know. Well, that's unfortunate. Maybe once you get back, I can give some to you if they're still good?
I wouldn't want you to sit on fresh fruit like that for too long, though. I don't think you have to worry about giving any to us.
Oh, but these are really, really good. You have to try them. Hold on, Barb should be at home, right?
No, really, we're fine without them. Besides, I told you that Barb really doesn't like dealing with anyone from our family, remember? I wouldn't go over. She'll probably just say something really horrible to you. I wouldn't want you to deal with that in person.
Well, okay then. How about I just leave them on your doorstep with a little note? That way, I don't have to interact with Barb, and you still get the fruit.
I really don't think you get how serious Selena is with all this. I don't think she even wants you on our property.
Does she really hate our family that much? That we can't even be within a certain distance of her? Why did you even marry her if she hates the rest of us so much?
I've been asking myself that question a lot recently, actually.
I mean, I'm your sister, but even I think you're a handsome, caring guy who any girl would be lucky to have. So I just can't understand how you ended up with someone like Barb.
I know, I really don't get it either when I think about it. I met Barb through a friend trying to set me up with her.
Well, you have so many friends. I feel like if one of them wanted to set you up with someone better, you have that option.
I don't know. When the friend first mentioned Barb, he said that she was a really nice, sweet girl.
Well, it doesn't really seem like much of that is true now, does it?
But she was like that before we got married. She really was sweet and understanding, but afterward, it's like a switch flipped inside of her.
So you think she might have just been lying to you that whole time? Waiting until you were finally married to reveal her true self?
I think that's probably not too far off from the truth. Because it wasn't long after we got married, she started making all kinds of demands to me. That's when this feeling of being trapped in this relationship really started. I feel like I don't even have any time for myself at all anymore.
Ugh, I feel so awful that you're going through all of this, Bruce. Have you thought of leaving her?
I have, but we haven't even been married for a year. I would hate to have rumors flying around about why we broke up so quickly. I'd feel better about it if we were married for at least 3 years or so.
Bruce, I think you're worrying way too much about what other people might think of you. If you're not happy where you are, then you should change something about your surroundings.
But don't you think that people would start spreading rumors about me if we got a divorce right now? I would hate that, and I wouldn't want to put Barb in a place where she gets subjected to that either.
Well, I can't see how anyone would blame you for wanting to do this. I'm sure there would be plenty of people who would take your side in this.
I'm really glad you think so, Selena, because I don't know what to think anymore.
Bruce, just based off of all the things you've told me, it seems like you're holding in a lot of stress. I've never seen you like this in all my life, and I just can't sit back and do nothing. Hey, Bruce, I just wanted to let you know that I spoke with Barb earlier.
Wait, you did? Where did this happen? Did you run into her somewhere?
I did, actually. It was near my neighborhood. The rain was coming down and I saw her walking without an umbrella. She was totally soaked, so I asked if she would want to come in for a little.
Wait, she was wandering around your neighborhood? Ugh, Selena, I am so sorry that you had to deal with this. I'll head over to your place and pick her up right now.
But I thought you said you were away on a business trip.
I know, but I can just leave some of the work here to my coworkers. I can't keep letting you get sucked into my problems.
You really don't need to do that. I've already called the police and they took her away.
Wait, what? Why did you call the cops on Barbara? Did she do something to you? Like, did the two of you get into a fight?
No, nothing like that. Barb didn't do anything, in fact.
Well then, why did you get the police involved? I don't understand.
Well, she was the victim of some kind of attack, apparently. When I picked her up, she was all battered and beaten up and covered in bruises.
Wait, my wife was beaten up? You think that she was in some kind of an accident or something like that? I had no idea about any of this. In that case, thank you so much for taking her in.
I was wondering if you were going to try and play dumb about this. Because she told me that you were the one that did all of that to her.
Hold on a second. You mean that you think I did that to my own wife?
She told me that you never even let her leave the house. And she told me about how you've basically just been treating her like livestock ever since the two of you got married. So you were the one who left her like that.
Whoa, no, hold on just a minute there. I didn't do anything like that at all.
It wasn't just the bruises, though. She's also just skin and bones. So what do you have to say about that? And please don't give me any of your stupid lies.
Okay, I get it. I'll tell you the whole truth this time. The fact of the matter is that Barb is a deeply sick woman mentally. After she gets angry and freaks out, she goes into her room and refuses to come out, and that's why she is the way you found her. She must have been up to something since I was away for work.
I'm not sure I believe that. She seemed very sane when I talked to her. And she was able to speak very lucidly with the police as well.
Well, you can't just judge these things after meeting a person once. It takes time to see them.
Even if I wanted to believe what you're saying, there are still things that aren't adding up. Like, if she was really that sick, then why not take her to a doctor?
Because I didn't want anyone to guess as to the reason of why she was going to the doctor.
So that's why you had to lock her away in your house and not let her talk to anyone instead? That's practically a crime.
I didn't commit a crime. You don't even know what you're talking about. Let's just calm down and try and talk this out, okay?
Oh, I'm very calm, but you should be quite stressed, that's for sure. I wouldn't be surprised if you ended up in jail after all this. I mean, you locked a woman up in your house and beat her. That sounds like a crime to me.
What is your deal? Why don't you believe anything I'm trying to say to you?
Because your wife was crying to me and begging me to save her from you, that's why. And she didn't seem like she was lying a bit to me. I think you were just making excuses about her. I can't ever trust you again, Bruce.
What's the matter with you? Why did you tell Mom and Dad about this? They said that they weren't even going to allow me to step foot inside their house.
Well, since it's clear you're just trying to run away from what you've done, I don't see why they would. You really should just give yourself up and stop all of this running.
This isn't fair. I'm being framed. I didn't do anything. There's people after me and I've already been attacked by them.
What are you talking about? Who attacked you?
Well, after I got back from my business trip, a group of Barb's relatives were waiting for me and beat me up. I had to run.
Well, I was the one who told her family about what you had done to her.
You mean you sold your own brother out? How could you do that?
Oh, please, don't try and make me the bad guy of all this. Of course I was going to tell Barb's family about what her husband had been doing to her. Did you know the doctors found a couple broken bones? How'd she get those?
But I never broke any bones. I don't know what any of this is about.
She broke her legs after she managed to pry open her window and jumped out of it to escape your house. Although I think it's more than fair to blame you for that too.
How can you say that? That's obviously not my fault.
Well, you were the one who locked her up with no other means of escape. Everything that this poor woman is going through right now, you're connected to, and the judge is going to think about that.
Ugh, you ruined everything! Why are you doing this to me? What did I do to you?
I already told you not to blame me for this. These are all consequences of your actions. You've treated Barb horribly, and now you're going to pay. Barb has already told us all the details of what she's been through.
What do you mean? Tell me what she said.
She told us all about how it seems like a bunch of tiny things slowly building up inside of you until one day it was like a scale tipping and you suddenly changed.
But what did she say that I did?
She attributed all the marks on her body to you, and the doctors are examining her to double-check that. You hid your true self from everyone but her for so long, Bruce.
No, this is all just a big mistake, I swear!
Enough. I don't want any more out of you. You made me think it was Barb who was in the wrong this whole time, but you were the problem.
I swear I wasn't lying, please, you have to believe me!
It wasn't that she didn't want to meet us, it was that you didn't want us to meet her and realize the kind of horrible person you really are.
Well, you were saying some pretty mean things about her too, so what do you think about that?
I said those things because the only version of Barb I knew was the one that you had made up to fool me.
Come on, you're not really going to put your brother through this, are you? We're family, remember?
I'm through with you. From this day on, we are nothing. And Mom and Dad also say they want nothing to do with you anymore too.
So you're all just going to abandon me like this?
That's right. None of us are going to take your side in this. You have issues, and it's better this way.
But it's not like I was the one who broke her bones or anything like that. We just had little marital spats like everyone does.
I can't believe you're trying to downplay what you did after I saw it with my own eyes. You'll get what's coming to you. After that, Barb reported everything to the police and filed a report against Bruce. Her and her parents decided that they wanted to press charges and refused Bruce's offer to settle out of court. In the end, he was found guilty. In the end, however, his sentence was commuted, but the conviction remains on his record. After that, Bruce just disappeared. He didn't say a word to our parents or I, and none of his friends have heard from him either.
Hey Gina, I'm just messaging you to remind you that I have Lana for this Sunday. I'm more than happy to go and pick her up somewhere and save you the effort of driving out here.
Ugh, Brandon, I'm really sorry, but my schedule's changed and this Sunday just isn't gonna work.
Wait a second, I only get to see Lana once a month. You can't just tell me that that's not going to happen. You know how much I look forward to getting to spend time with her.
Please don't act like this, Brandon. All I'm asking is that we move it to a different day. I don't get why you're acting so upset about this right now.
Because you've done this before, Gina. You tell me that you don't have time again and again until the month is already through.
But I'm really busy right now, I'm telling the truth. I can't help it, but it's just the facts. You have no idea how hard it is being a single mother. You need to give me a little more flexibility.
I don't really get how you being busy that day should affect whether or not I see Lana in the first place. I already said that I'm more than happy to go and pick you up. You don't have to do anything.
I'm just not comfortable with it is all. You might just take her and never bring her back home to me.
I would never do something like that to our daughter.
That's right, because I have full custody, and if you tried anything like that, I'd call the police right away.
I know you would, Gina.
I don't like how you're acting right now. You're planning something, aren't you?
Planning something? What do you even mean by that?
You're probably plotting to try to get custody of Lana yourself, aren't you? Why can't you just accept what we agreed to when we got divorced? Don't you realize how unfair it is for you to put Lana in the middle of us like that?
Gina, I understand that you have custody of Lana, and I'm very grateful that you allow me to see her when it's possible. But I don't think it's unreasonable to ask that time just be me and her.
I simply refuse to allow that to happen. I need to be there to make sure that you don't do anything bad. Maybe when Lana is a little older, I'll think about it.
Okay then, I understand. When's a good day for me to see Lana?
How does next Sunday sound?
Okay, that sounds good. Just please make sure I can actually see her that day, okay?
I already gave you a date, didn't I? But anyways, there's something I need to talk to about Lana before then.
And just what is that?
Well, Lana apparently wants to learn ballet.
Really? That's amazing! Please let me know when her recitals are. I would love to go and see one.
She hasn't even started taking lessons for it yet. In fact, I'm worried about letting her do so.
But why would you be worried? I think it's pretty normal for a girl her age to want to get into ballet.
I know, but you need all kinds of material and clothes and other expensive things to do it. Not to mention the lessons themselves are going to cost quite a bit as well. I just wish she was into something that didn't cost so much.
But it's so rare that Lana speaks out about being really interested in something. I think that you should let her do this. She might not even like it when she tries it for real, but what's the harm in letting her try?
You really just don't get it, do you? I'm trying to tell you that I simply can't afford to let her do this. But if you really think it's such a great idea, then why don't you pay for it?
You mean you want me to send you more money for child support?
Exactly. And I'll tell Lana that you're the one paying for her ballet if you do.
I'd appreciate that, but I feel like I'm already sending you plenty of money every month. Are you really using it all up already?
I just told you that I couldn't afford to send her to ballet. Are you doubting me?
No, of course not. Yes, you're right. I'll pay for the ballet. It's not a problem.
I really do think it's great how you would do anything for our daughter, Brandon. I just hope you're not stretching yourself out too thin.
Don't worry, I'm okay. If it's really something that Lana wants to do, then I have no problem supporting it.
Oh, isn't that sweet? Well, I guess I'll go and tell Lana the good news.
Yes, please do. I really hope that she's happy about it.
I'm sure she will be. Anyway, let's start with you sending me an extra $500 a month, okay?
Got it. And just one more thing. Can you please send me some photos and videos of her lessons?
Yeah. Just hurry up and send the money. I have to get back to work soon. We'll talk more about this later.
Okay, and please just don't forget about next Sunday. I didn't get to see Lana last month, so I really need this.
Ugh, you can be so annoying sometimes, you know? You really do sound like a broken record when you talk like that. Sometimes you just make me really mad. Hey, Brandon, are you already on your way over?
I'm just about to leave the house, actually.
Okay, well, I just wanted to ask you something, and I don't want you to get upset, got it? I want to ask you if you mind if we cancel today.
Wait, what? What do you mean? Why would we do that?
Well, Lana has a fever. I think she might be a little sick today.
She has a fever? Do you have any idea what it could be from? Like, does she have a cold or something? Is she okay?
Oh, calm down. She's fine, but she's sleeping right now. She also wanted me to pass along that she's really sorry she wasn't able to see you today and that she was looking forward to it.
Oh, I see. Well, do you want me to buy any kind of medicine to bring over there? Can I at least see her and make sure she's okay?
You mean you want to come inside my house and see Lana?
If it's alright with you, I really would appreciate that.
I just don't get it. Why do you feel the need to come into my house, huh?
What do you mean? I just want to check on my sick daughter.
Well, she's sleeping right now, and you don't need to be waking her up.
Well then, can I at least bring her some gifts to make her feel better, and can you give them to her for me?
You do realize that we're not married anymore, right? I understand that you're Lana's father, but you're not my husband, and you can't just ask to come into my house.
Oh, well, I understand that, and I'm sorry if I was overstepping some boundaries there. It's just that I haven't gotten to see Lana in 2 months now.
Didn't I let you talk with her on the phone not that long ago?
But I want to see her in person. You get why I would want to see my own daughter face to face, right? Why can't I see her?
Because she started ballet and she's tired all the time. She can't be wasting her energy running around with you all day.
Well then when am I going to be able to see her next?
Before we even talk about that, we have to wait for Lana to feel better. I won't be able to tell you anything until that happens.
Okay, but I'm leaving for a business trip from next month, so if possible, I'd like to see her in the latter half of that month.
Oh, really? Well, I'm only going to have time for it during the first half of the month. So maybe we'll have to put it off even later than that.
Come on, surely you can do better than that. I haven't gotten to see my daughter in 2 months. I have a right to see her.
You have what I give you. Don't try to blame all of this on me.
I'm not trying to do that, but I just feel like you're not being fair with your schedule. I'm always the one trying to schedule the meetings, and I'm always double-checking my schedule to keep the days free. Why can't I get that same effort back?
Okay, alright, geez. Just tell me when you're back from your business trip and we'll figure something out.
Okay, fine. After I come back from my trip then. But can you at least let me know when her fever is down? I'd also like to talk to her on the phone again if that's possible.
Ugh, but you just did that last week. Wasn't that enough for you?
Consider it making up for canceling on me last minute today.
Ugh, whatever. Just know that we're both busy and you won't be able to talk to her for however long you want, okay? Anyways, I have to go to work now.
You're going to work right now, but it's Sunday. Besides, are you really just going to leave Lana alone in the house all day while she's sick?
I can't just call out of work whenever I want to, you know. They're already letting me leave early on the weekdays to pick Lana up.
Right, I see. Well, just please take care of our daughter, okay?
I don't need you to tell me how I should be taking care of Lana, got it? And there's something else that I think you should know.
And just what that might be, Gina.
I'm dating someone right now. Well, are you surprised? Don't tell me that you still thought there was a chance that we'd get back together.
No, that's not what I'm thinking about. I'm just wondering if you've introduced this guy to Lana yet.
Oh, yes, they've met plenty of times. Don't you worry about that.
Don't you think you might be moving a little fast with all this? I mean, we've only been divorced for a year.
Oh, so no, it's wrong for a single mother to want to find love.
No, that's not what I said, and you know it. I don't care if you go out and find someone new, you're well within your rights to do that. But I am asking you as Lana's father to just give her a little more time to process things, please.
I'll have you know that I'm thinking plenty about Lana's future, thank you very much.
Oh, really? And may I ask in what ways you're doing that?
Well, here's one way. I think that you should see Lana even less.
Are you kidding me? Is this just because I asked you to slow things down with your new boyfriend and Lana?
No, but I think that this man could be a good father for Lana, and I would like it if she began to think of him as her father instead. You can't honestly expect to be her father forever when you don't even live with us, right? Don't you understand what you're putting her through when you do that?
But I am Lana's dad, and that's just a fact. And the whole reason I didn't fight you harder for custody was because you told me that I would be able to see her regularly.
Doesn't matter whether you fought me or not, I'm the mother, so I would have ended up with custody. I was always going to win no matter what. And if you really loved Lana in the same way that I do, then you'll think about giving her the space she needs.
No, I won't let that happen. I care more about Lana than I do anything else in the whole world.
And you think that I don't? I'm not asking that you let go of that love, only that you love from afar. Nothing has to change right away, but after I get married, we're going to have a serious talk about this. Who knows? Maybe you'll feel the same way if anyone ever wants to marry a man like you.
I didn't ask you for your opinion on my marriage prospects, thank you very much.
Look, I just think that right now, Lana is at a crossroads in her life. I won't stop her from saying she wants to see you, but I think once she realizes this is a permanent thing, that maybe she'll change the way she thinks.
Well, you're not being very fair to her if you're telling me to stay away.
You've done a lot to support us financially, and I'm really grateful for that. But my new boyfriend is also contributing money to help me raise Lana. That's another reason why I want this man to be Lana's new dad if we get married. I really think that he has her best interests at heart.
Hey Mom, I'm sorry I didn't answer your calls. I'm actually away on a business trip right now, and I was out grabbing dinner with a client.
Oh, Brandon, thank goodness you've finally gotten back to me. You need to come back home right this second.
You want me to come back? Why's that? Is everything okay? Did someone get hurt or something? Don't tell me that something has happened to Dad.
No, it's not your dad, but it is very, very serious. Your daughter just showed up and she's soaking wet. And she's crying and crying about how she wants to live with you.
Wait, you mean Lana? She showed up at the house?
That's right. I guess she ran away from Gina's place.
She ran away and now she's soaking wet? Has it been raining there or something?
It hasn't been raining at all. Lana said it was Gina and her boyfriend who did that to her.
Gina and her boyfriend left Lana like that?
Lana told me they would dump a bucket of water over her anytime she said she wanted to see you.
Are you serious?
Of course I am. I've taken her to the hospital for now. The poor girl's teeth were chattering and it looks like she hasn't eaten in days. I don't even know how she managed to get herself to your place in her state.
What the heck is going on? What did those people do to my daughter? Is this how Lana's been living this whole time when she's been with her mom?
Brandon, I know it's a lot to ask right now, but you need to calm down. The important thing is that I have Lana and she's safe right now. I have to go and speak to the doctors, but I'll give you a call once I'm done.
Sure thing. I guess I'll start looking into tickets to go back home.
Oh, please hurry. Lana just won't stop crying about how badly she wants to live with you. I'm sorry I wasn't more there during your divorce, but I am completely with you now. We will save Lana. But if we're going to do that, we have to stay calm and sharp. You're the only person Lana has to count on now. Hey, Brandon, I'm just wondering if you haven't heard from Lana recently?
Oh, please, I know that you already know the answer. That call I just got was from your number, wasn't it?
Yeah, right. Sorry about that. There's just a lot going on here.
A lot going on? You wouldn't happen to be talking about Lana going missing, would you?
Oh, I knew it. I knew that you had something to do with it. Give me back Lana right this second. If you don't, I'll go to the cops and have you arrested.
Go ahead and try it, Gina. You'll only be getting yourself into trouble, though.
What are you even talking about?
I mean that I've already heard the whole story from Lana herself. She told me all about how you two have been living since the divorce, and how all you do is go out on dates and force Lana to look after the house while you're gone.
That's just ridiculous. I've never done anything like that. Are you really going to listen to what a child has to say over me? She's just lying because she's throwing a tantrum against me. Just tell me where you both are right now and I'll go pick her up.
We're at Child Protective Services, if you must know.
Wait, you're talking to CPS right now?
That's right. We're talking about how I can get custody over Lana and save her from you. So yes, please come over. We have so much to talk about.
But I don't get it. What's going on? I didn't even do anything.
Oh, please. Are you really going to pretend like the way you were treating Lana was nothing?
I was just doing my best to raise her is all.
Well, she showed up to my house and where my mom was, soaking wet and crying. She told my mom all about how you and your boyfriend dumped water all over her and how that wasn't the first time either. Plus, she told us about how you only ever feed her scraps and make her clean the house for you, and how you let this man of yours smack her around. You're just pathetic, do you know that?
Well, do you even have any proof that I've been doing all this to Lana? She's always been a skinny little thing, and she enjoys cleaning up around the house. And I'm busy with all the work all the time anyways.
So that's your excuse? You're so busy with work that you don't have time to take care of the house, and so you let your kid do it? Because I called the company where you said that you worked, and they said that they have no record of an employee with your name.
Well, that's because I changed jobs recently.
Okay, well then tell me where it is that you're working right now. I want to make sure that you actually do have the job that you say you do.
And just why should I have to do that for you, huh?
Because you're abusing our daughter. So if you're really not, then you show me some proof of how you're raising her now.
I don't have any proof of that. What would that even look like?
Then you really leave me no choice but to try and get custody, okay?
But you don't have any proof that I've done any of those things either, right? Maybe Lana just covered herself in water and ran to you to lie about me. Or maybe you were the one who did it so that you could frame me. I would never do something like that to my daughter, so I'm sure that you must be lying.
You really think that you're going to get away with this just because your abuse doesn't leave marks? I'm afraid that's quite a bit old-fashioned. Abuse cases look just as much into mental abuse as they do physical nowadays.
So then, you think I'll be arrested for child abuse? I'm the whole reason that little brat is alive.
Are you trying to say that you're innocent just because you fed your kid from time to time? It doesn't matter what you do to the kid as long as they're still alive? I realize now that you've been dressing up Lana for me whenever we've met, telling her not to tell me what's been going on at your house. And that's why you're always wanting to be there when I visit, so that Lana doesn't tell the truth about you. So that's why our daughter felt like she had to run away from home and find me.
So then, I'll really be arrested for this.
I think that you already know the answer. After all, CPS already has a file on you apparently. They've received multiple reports about Lana, unless those are all just mistakes too. I'm sure that you'll be punished somehow, and then I'll take Lana from you and give her a better life.
But I really do care about her. This isn't fair. You can't just accuse me of doing all this horrible stuff to her and take her away from me.
Oh please, you don't care about her at all. The only reason that you wanted to get custody was so that you could get me to pay child support. You only care about her from the money that you can make from her. Lana told me about how you made up the thing about ballet just to get me to pay more and then laughed about it with your boyfriend.
Why are you listening to what some little brat has to say about things she doesn't understand?
I believe my daughter, and just because she's a child doesn't mean that she isn't aware of what she's going through. And she's old and smart enough to know what you were doing wasn't right.
Please, can't we just meet in person and talk this out? I think there's a lot of misunderstandings going on here, and I want to try to clear the air.
I'm not letting you get close to Lana ever again, but you are more than welcome to come down to the CPS office and meet me face to face. Although I know you don't want to, since Lana said you and your boyfriend weren't even home for the past few days before she ran away. I bet that you used the extra money I gave you to go on some trip with him, didn't you?
It isn't like that at all, I swear. He's paying for everything.
I don't care who's paying for what. Just don't leave a child at home like that.
Please, you have to listen to me. This is all just one big mistake, I swear.
Nothing you say is going to change my mind, and I am going to make you pay for what you've done. After that, Gina and her boyfriend were promptly picked up by the police and arrested for what they had done to Lana. Although they were only arrested for a couple of months, I was able to get custody of Lana in the end. When she was released, Gina tried to reach out and apologize for everything, but I was having none of it. I blocked her on everything and cut her out of my life completely. I didn't want her to come near Lana ever again. When she's older, if Lana wants to make the decision to meet her mom, I won't stand in her way. But since she's still just a child and needs to know that it's okay to trust adults, I know that if she keeps on interacting with her mom, it will definitely affect her development more than it already has been. Hey Sally, I just wanted to let you know that I'm gonna be getting back home a little early today. I hope that tonight we can talk a little more.
Ugh, Harry, do you really think there's anything left to talk about between us? We're going to get divorced. What else is there to even discuss?
But I don't understand why we're getting divorced. It doesn't make any sense to me.
Well, I don't know what you want me to do. It's not my job to convince you, but I have said all that I have to say. I mean, you were the one who thought that I was cheating on you, right?
Well, I thought that you would want to change your ways for the good of the family, you know? And besides, I was just suspicious. I didn't know that you were actually cheating on me.
Well, you found out. I admitted to it, and I agreed to pay you money to settle all of this. I don't want to live with you anymore, Harry. Can you please just sign the divorce papers and stop dragging this out longer than it needs to be?
Wait, please, I'm begging you. I get that you want a divorce, but it's only been a week since we talked about that.
Well, why drag this out any longer? I know that I don't love you anymore. I don't want you to raise my children, and I don't want to be married to you. Besides, I've already fallen in love with someone else. I don't see the point in making this last any longer than it really needs to.
But you can't really mean that, right? I mean, I worked so hard to make as much time for our family as I could.
I know you did, and I'm not saying that you're a bad father or husband. You're good at both of those things. But whenever I think of you, I just don't feel that spark that I used to when we first got together.
Do you really dislike being with me that much, Sally?
I'm sorry, but I really do, and nothing is going to change my mind about it.
But what about Lyra? We have to talk about who will be taking custody of her.
Well, she's already said that she wants to come with me, so that's settled.
What do you mean?
Are you really even that surprised? I mean, when was the last time that you and her even talked together, huh?
Well, I'm always doing my best to reach out to her, but ever since she started middle school, I feel like she just ignores me.
That's because she's sick of how obnoxious you can be. Do you really think that a daughter who doesn't even enjoy talking to you would want to go and live with you?
But I want to talk to her. It's like you think I don't try.
Well, she doesn't want to talk with you. What don't you get about that? Honestly, you just need to think about this more clearly.
But I've always been there for Lyra before this. I mean, we raised her together, but now she's staying with your parents while we're figuring all this out. So I can still go and visit her on the weekends, right?
No, I didn't mention this to you earlier, but she's actually started staying with my new boyfriend's family.
Wait, you can't be serious about that, right?
Well, you already knew that I was seeing this guy behind your back, right? When I told his parents that you and I were breaking up, he said that they would happily watch Lyra while we solved all of this.
So then you're just leaving our daughter with complete strangers? Why are you involving our daughter with the man you cheated on me with?
I think you're confused. You're the one who may as well be a stranger. Once we're divorced and I take Lyra, you're going to be nothing to either of us anymore, get it? So you can just go ahead and stop acting like you're worried about it.
Sally, you can't do things like this! This is taking things way too far!
Oh, I am so sick of dealing with you, Harry. If you really want to talk to Lyra that bad, then go message her. Just don't expect her to ever get back to you. From this day on, the two of us are going to live with my boyfriend, and that's that.
Wait, Sally, please don't go. Can't we just talk about this for a little longer?
What's the point? We're just going to end up saying the same things over and over. It's not going to change anything, and it's going to be a waste of time. You need to accept the facts and sign the divorce papers. I want this over with by the end of the month. Hey, Dad. I heard from Mom that you wanted to talk to me.
Lyra? Is that really you?
Of course it is. But Mom is gone because it's Friday, so she has her Pilates.
Oh, right. I guess that makes sense. I can't believe she's still going to that while all this is going on, though.
Well, you know how much Mom loves to keep up with her schedule.
I know. I just wanted to say how sorry I am that you're having to go through all this right now, Lyra.
I don't really mind all that much, actually. I mean, Mom seems really happy, and I don't think she would be that way if she was still living with you.
I see. So then you really think she's happier without me? I also heard that you were going to be changing schools after that divorce. Are you okay with that happening?
Well, since I'll have a totally new name after Mom and Chris get married, I'm more thinking of it as a fresh start.
Well, I guess I'm glad that you seem to be taking all this so well, Lyra. I'm just curious, are you actually looking forward to living with your mom and this Chris guy? I know that we haven't been as close as we used to be, and I want you to know that you can always come and stay with me whenever you want to. I would do anything for you, and I want you to know that.
Oh, wow, that is lame. I can't believe it. Do you really think I would ever want to go and live with you?
I just mean, well, if it's something that you wanted. I don't know, I just think that a lot of things are changing for you, and I want you to know that you have options. I mean, you'll be living with some strange new guy, and I just don't want you to be uncomfortable or unhappy.
And you think that I'd be more comfortable and happy being with a boring old fart like you?
Hey now, you don't need to call me names, you know?
Why are you still talking as if we're friends? Don't you realize that your wife and daughter hate you? Why can't you see that yet?
Now, Lyra, I know that puberty can be a time when a lot of strange changes are happening in your body and mind. I'm wondering if that doesn't have something to do with why you're keeping your distance from me.
I don't know if you knew this, but I knew that Mom was seeing this other guy since I was in elementary school. Chris is way younger than you, and he's really rich, too. I think Mom is making a great decision by leaving you.
But that would mean that you've known that Mom was seeing Chris behind my back for at least 2 years.
That's right. And I'm so happy that Chris is finally going to be my new dad. He never gets mad at me and always lets me do whatever I want. He's the best dad ever.
I see. So then I guess you're completely with your mom when it comes to this.
Of course I am. I'm never going to think of you as my dad ever again. So you might as well forget that you've ever got a daughter, got it?
If that's what you really want, then I won't say anything more. I'll sign the divorce papers, and then you and your mom can go and live with Chris.
Finally! I thought you were never gonna sign them. I'll tell Mom. I know she'll be really happy over this.
But, Lyra, are you sure that we can't meet in person just one last time? I just have some final things I'd like to say to you, since after the divorce, it really seems like it'll be goodbye for us.
Yeah, no, that sounds super awkward and boring. Both Mom and I hate you and never want to see you again. Don't you get that? Just hurry up and sign the papers so this can all finally be over. Hey, Dad. It's been a really long time since we last talked, hasn't it? How have you been? This is Lyra, in case you don't have my number saved.
Wait, Lyra? Is it really you?
So then you really do still remember me?
Of course I remember you, but I have to say that I am shocked that you're messaging me.
I thought you might be. I mean, I think the last time we talked like this was already more than 6 years ago. I'm in college now, you know?
That sounds about right. I was wondering if you'd started yet. Well, have you been? Are you doing well? Are you enjoying college?
Yeah, I guess things are okay for me.
Oh, well, that's really good to hear. I wish you the best in life, sweetie. Good luck with everything.
Hold on, you can't just go. Are you mad at me?
What do you mean?
Well, I just know that when you and Mom split up, I said some really awful things to you.
Oh, really? I guess I didn't really notice that you had...
Well, I just want you to know that I've always regretted treating you like that. I was just so angry at the world and you were an easy target because of how much you loved me. So I want you to know that I'm truly sorry for the way I treated you.
I'll be honest, I said it had to do with age when we first split up.
Well, you were right. You were always so kind to me and all I ever did was throw it back in your face in those days. But now I'm older and I realize you're probably the kindest man I've ever known.
Lyra, where's all this coming from so suddenly? Haven't things been going well with your mom and Chris?
Well, Mom and Chris never even got married. In fact, apparently Chris had a whole other family and was married this whole time. We all lived together like one big family until about a year ago when Mom found out that Chris was a married man and everything fell apart.
Oh, wow. Well, that sounds like a real mess for everyone involved.
You really have no idea. And now Mom just found out that she's really sick.
Your mom is sick? With what? Does she know?
I don't know, but I think it's pretty serious. Maybe even life-threatening. But I guess maybe this is what Mom gets after doing so much hurt to a nice man like you.
I don't really know about that.
But anyways, I just wanted to let you know that Mom's in the hospital now and I really need help. At this rate, I'll have to stop going to college. I didn't know who else to turn to, so that's why I reached out. I was wondering if I couldn't ask you for a little support with money.
You mean you want me to help and cover the cost of your school and stuff? But I thought that you told me to forget I ever had a daughter.
I knew it. You're still upset over the things I said back then.
No, I'm not upset, but I am just doing what you told me to do.
What do you mean? I don't get it.
I mean that you're not my kid. You belong to Sally and some other man. I don't mean this in some metaphorical way either. You are literally not my child. Your mom had you with some other man, and I knew that when we got married. Why do you think I never paid any child support after your mom and I got divorced?
Wait, what are you talking about? I had no idea about any of this.
Oh, I see. Well then, maybe I just should have kept my mouth shut. But it's true, I married your mom when you were about 4 years old. I guess maybe you were just barely too young to remember any of that, but I'm not your real father. Maybe that's why you never really liked me when I was with your mom.
No, that can't be right. And of course I loved you.
Well, it doesn't really matter now that we're all apart, and you don't have to worry about me, and I don't need to worry about you.
So then, you're really not going to help me out at all?
I'm sorry, but I just really don't know why I would do that. When we lived together, I really did think of you as my daughter, but not anymore.
But legally, I'm still your daughter, right? So I don't get why you wouldn't offer to help me at all.
I think you know exactly why I'm not helping you.
Ugh, I knew it! I knew that you were just a lousy father, just like the rest of them!
Lyra, I think it would be good if you spent some time away from your mom. If you ever get into any serious trouble, feel free to reach out, okay?
Hey, Harry! What the heck is your problem trying to turn Lyra against me?
I'm sorry, are you referring to me telling Lyra the truth about her life?
I don't need you going around telling her things that she doesn't need to know yet. We had a huge fight yesterday thanks to you.
I'm sorry, is Lyra an adult now or isn't she? You know that you can't just hide that part of her life forever, right?
Well, you're not even her real dad, so why do you think you get to be the one telling her that kind of thing?
Well, Lyra couldn't understand why I was acting the way I was to her, so I had to explain it to her in a way that I knew would stick.
I really can't believe you. And here I thought that you loved Lyra.
No, please, don't even try to pull something like that on me right now.
Well, did you hear about how I'm sick? And now Lyra's telling me it's all my fault she'll have to drop out of college. All she was asking for was help paying for her higher education, and you couldn't even give her that? Instead, you just told her to blame it all on me.
Well, it isn't my job to help her.
Oh, but why? You know that family is more than just about being connected by blood. I know that you do. You would have never treated Lyra like this when we were still married.
You can go ahead and stop right there. I bet that Lyra isn't even going to college, and I doubt that you're even really sick.
What do you mean?
You mean how did I know all of that? Well, that would actually be because my parents and I happened to do some digging around you and Lyra around the time that she finished high school.
Your parents looked into us? For what? What did they want?
They were trying to convince me to get remarried.
And what did Lyra and I have to do with that?
Well, they thought that if they could show me that you two were happy without me, then it might spur me to move on.
So then, did you get married?
I did actually, yes.
But I only got sick recently, so how did you hear about that?
Well, when Lyra told me that you were sick, I went to look at some of the social media profiles you had and saw you having the time of your life on various trips.
Well, maybe I just didn't post about being sick on my social media.
Maybe, but it certainly didn't look like you were hurting for money either. If things are really that bad for you, you could always just sell some of your expensive brand items. I see them in almost every photo that you upload.
No, I couldn't do that. Do you know how much time and effort went into getting all of those?
I think that if you were really on your deathbed, you wouldn't be saying that. So I guess it is all just a lie, isn't it? You were never sick to begin with.
Okay, the truth is that I'm in a lot of debt right now.
I take it that that comes from all your running around and having fun, yes?
I wasn't running around, I was trying to find ways to relieve all the stress I built up.
Well, you seem to find the most expensive ways of doing so.
My life has just been a mess ever since I left you. Chris turned out to be a married man and I was the other woman. His wife found out about me and then Chris left me. Then I met another guy who turned out to be a scammer and took all my money. You're the only person I can turn to now.
So, then you lied about being sick to try and get more money out of me, huh?
Well, I wasn't asking you for any help. I just lied about being sick.
That's right. You didn't ask because you had Lyra ask instead, isn't that right?
I just thought that she would be able to convince you to give her something at least.
Well, I don't get why you need Lyra to do your dirty work. She should have nothing to do with your debt.
I know, but she was trying to help me. But now you're the only person that I can turn to. So please help me out here. I'm sure that if you do, it will really make Lyra think of you as her father again.
And just why do you think that I would even want that?
Well, because you still love Lyra and you want her back in your life, right?
You don't know anything. In fact, after you had your fight with Lyra, she came crying to me about how she didn't want to grow up to be someone like you. And she said that she was going to move out.
Wait a second. Is that why I haven't seen Lyra? Because she's moved out?
That's right, and she said that she wants nothing to do with you ever again. Do you understand?
Now hold on, just 1 second. What am I supposed to do about next month's rent? Or groceries? How am I supposed to live if I can't use the money Lyra gets from her job?
That sounds like a you problem, Sally.
Give me back my daughter. You're not even her father, you can't just take her from me.
You seem to be awfully fickle about whether you want me connecting with Lyra based on what you want, but Lyra made this decision all on her own.
But Harry, without Lyra's help, I really won't be able to afford to live. You have to help me.
You've been living off of your daughter for this long. I think it's time for you to remember what it's like to be a responsible adult yourself.
I'm so sorry. I promise to pay you back every penny, but at least tell Lyra to come back to me.
Lyra wants you to know that she never enjoyed doing anything to help you, and she just didn't want you to hate her and be left with no one.
That's a lie. She chose me over you, and that's that.
I'm afraid that if you really think that, then you have no idea just who your daughter really is. But maybe now that you're all alone, this will give you more incentive to try and be a better person who Lyra would want to be around. I don't know what happened to Sally after that, and honestly, I don't really care. I'm sure that after she realized that, she had no one else to turn to for help. However, that she decided to step up and take care of herself. I blocked her on all social media, and I did my best to know a little about her as possible. As for Lyra, I asked my relatives to find a job for her in their hotel where she works at now and lives. Lyra has a long way to go, but I think she really is starting to come into herself as an independent adult. I even agreed to pay for her schooling as long as she keeps up with her work.
Hey Sandy, I just wanted to let you know that I got the package that you sent me. These fruits are just lovely. And the basket is great too. This must have cost a fortune. You didn't have to go and spend all that money on me.
I really didn't even pay much for it, though. So many of my neighbors grow their own foods, and most of that was just gifts from them. I gave them all a little bit of money as a way of saying thanks, but the basket really cost much less than you might think.
Well, still, thank you so much. It really is a thoughtful gift. I'll have to think of how to get through all of this before it goes bad.
I really hope I didn't go overboard with all that I gave you. I'm sure that there's enough people in the house that'll all get eaten, right?
Yes, I think this should be plenty to last us a while. And since your brother and his wife are here living with us, I'm sure we'll have no problem eating all of this fruit.
Well, as long as you think that everyone will enjoy it, that's all that matters. By the way, they've already been living there for about 2 months, right? How's that going?
It's going quite well, thank you. At first there were some bumps along the way, but I think we've settled into a good routine now.
Well, that's good to hear. But still, I bet you must have been surprised when Gary asked to live with you all of a sudden. You didn't have to say yes to him, you know.
Well, I didn't really have a reason to say no. Besides, Gary assured me that it would just be a temporary thing.
Did he really say that to you, Mom?
Yes, he said that he wanted to save up money to buy a house, and that it would be much easier to do so if they lived with me for a while.
I see. Well, I sure hope he's right about that. But I just hope that you remember you're allowed to say when enough is enough. You seem to be enjoying living alone after Dad passed away.
There was a lot of joy out of living alone for the first time in a few decades, yes. But it is just so nice to have my son and his wife over, and I've been enjoying the company. And I think many of my neighbors are relieved to know that I'm living with someone again, just in case anything were to happen to me.
Yeah, I suppose that is a good point as well. To be honest, I was a little worried about you living all on your own as well. I just hope that Gary really meant what he said. Sometimes I worry that he's just being a cheapskate and looking for ways to not have to spend money.
Do you really think he would be using me just for that?
I can't say what Gary is thinking for sure, but I do know that ever since the business he tried to start failed, he's been asking for money from several people. And that's not even talking about the second business he tried to start after Dad died and Gary got his share of the inheritance. But that one was also over almost as soon as it started. I just don't know how he managed to make the same mistakes twice.
That's true, but Gary has a job now. And for a company that already exists, I think that he's really changed since getting married.
I really hope so. But just remember that you can tell him now. I know that you always want to be there for us when we need you, but it's okay to have your boundaries too.
Thank you very much, Sandy. It makes me happy to know that my daughter is thinking of me so much, especially considering the fact that you must be so preoccupied with being pregnant.
Well, I just saw a doctor last week and he said that there was nothing to worry about. So don't you go worrying about me yet, okay, Mom? Anyways, I have to go to another appointment, so I'll talk to you later, okay?
Sounds good, Sandy. I hope the appointment goes well. I also have some housework that I need to attend to. I hope you get home safely.
Hey, Sandy, do you have a second to chat real quick?
Sure thing, Gary. What's on your mind? I feel like I don't usually hear from you.
Yeah, well, there's just something I wanted to talk to you about, if that's alright.
I'm sorry, Gary, but I don't have any money to give you.
That's not what I was talking about, and why do you automatically think that that's what I was gonna ask you about, huh?
Well, because 9 times out of 10, it usually is.
You really know how to grind my gears, you know that?
Well, you're already on thin ice with me since you basically forced Mom to take you in. I know that you're just taking advantage of how kind she is, Gary.
That's not fair! I have a job and I'm not getting in anyone's way or trying to do anything.
So then you're contributing to paying for the groceries and utilities and things like that?
I mean, I am a bit, yeah.
A bit? What's that supposed to mean?
You asked if I was paying and I said I was. Jeez. If anything, you should be thanking me for moving in with Mom. You don't live anywhere near here and it's my wife and I who are looking after her now.
You're right, that does make me a little less nervous about Mom, although it does add its own anxieties about it too. And if I wasn't pregnant right now, I would be visiting home a lot more often. I'd want to see for myself that things are going well between everyone there.
I can't believe this. I can't believe that you're going after my wife now too.
And just what is that supposed to mean?
Well, this is what I actually wanted to talk to you about. The truth is that Mom has been really bullying my wife, Eve.
What? No way! Mom would never ever do something like that.
I'm telling the truth. Why else would I be reaching out to you if it wasn't something that was really bugging me?
Well, I just can't see Mom being mean to anyone without reason. There's no way she's just bullying Eve.
I thought the same way. I had never even imagined that Mom had this side to her. But after we moved in, it was like watching a cute little dog that you've known for years get rabies or something.
Did you seriously just compare our mom to a dog with rabies?
You weren't here. You haven't seen all the things that I have. For example, just recently, you sent us that basket of fruit, right?
Yeah, I did. What does that have to do with anything?
Well, Mom told Eve that she wasn't allowed to have any.
But that doesn't make any sense. There was so much fruit, there's no way she could eat it all on her own.
She gave me a portion of it and then handed the rest to her neighbors. But Eve really likes the kind of grapes that were in that basket, and Mom knows that and didn't give her a single one.
Well, that's definitely odd, and it doesn't sound very nice. But I'm not sure I would call that bullying.
Well, that's one example of the many awful things that she's been treating Eve. Don't tell me that you're just gonna ignore it because it's Mom.
I didn't say that I was ignoring anything. But the mom that I know wouldn't do something like that unless she had a good reason to. I'm just confused is all.
But we've only ever seen the good side of Mom because we're her kids. The way she treats other people is just horrible, though. Are things not like that with you and your husband?
No, not really. I get along great with his parents, actually.
Well, that's probably just because you aren't actually living together like we are, right?
I'm not sure if that's the reason why. Anyways, I guess I can always just ask Mom herself about what she thinks about it all.
No, please don't do that.
What do you mean? I thought you were coming to me because you wanted help with Mom.
No, that's why I messaged you. I want to handle this by myself. I just wanted to know if you had any thoughts about what I could do to take care of this problem.
Are you sure you can handle something like that?
I think that if you were able to get involved, that Mom would start treating Eve even worse, and then that would be all your fault. Plus, Mom would just be mad at all of us if she found out that I came to you about all this.
Well, if that really happens, then I'll take your side and tell me what she's doing is wrong. But I just really can't accept that she's acting the way she is towards Eve for no reason. I just want to get to the bottom of this.
And you think that if you ask Mom, she'll confess right away?
I think it's only fair that I hear Mom's version of events regarding this, don't you?
Ugh, I don't even know why I bothered coming to you for help with something like this. Just don't say anything about this to Mom at all, okay?
Wait, are you serious about all of this?
Look, you don't live at home anymore, so you don't know what it's like. All I'm asking is for you to keep your mouth shut about this for a little bit, okay?
I understand that, but you were the ones who asked if you could move back in. You realize that, right? And if Mom really is bullying Eve, I'm not exactly sure how much I'm gonna be able to do from here anyways.
I knew that I never should have said anything about this to you. I thought you might be able to help me, but I should have known that you would just take Mom's side on this no matter what. Just promise me that you're not gonna say anything about this to Mom, okay?
Hey, Gary, what is going on over there? I heard you kicked Mom out of her own house. What happened?
Of course I kicked her out after all that she's been doing.
Is this all about her not getting along with Eve?
She wasn't just not getting along, she was really bullying my wife.
Well, I went and asked Mom about it, and she said that she had no idea what you were talking about.
Well, of course she would say something like that to you.
I'm sorry, Gary, but is there any way that we can meet and talk about this in person? Because you can't just kick Mom out of her house and leave her with no place to stay. I mean, you were the ones who moved in with her in the first place.
Well, she should have thought about that before she treated Eve the way she did. If she couldn't see that this would result in her getting kicked out, then that's her problem. And I still can't believe that you're taking her side over ours in all this.
I really just think that you're taking this whole thing too far and that you're going to regret this.
Oh, really? Is that what you think? And just who am I going to end up regretting this? If anyone is regretting anything, it's probably Mom for all that she did to Eve. I mean, we're kind enough to move in with her and give her some company, and she treats us like crap.
Well, I offered to talk to Mom about this for you, didn't I? You didn't have to go and do something this drastic.
Wait a second, is Mom there with you right now?
She is, actually. After you kicked her out, she asked if I had any room for her at my place.
Well, fine then. You have Mom and she has a place to live, so everything is fine. And you said you get along with her in-laws, so I'm sure that they'll be happy to have her, right?
You really have no idea the mess that you've made for yourself, do you?
I don't see how you can say that when we're the ones with the house. Mom should be ashamed of herself for acting the way she was acting. I never want her to go near Eve ever again.
I see. So then there's really no way that we're all gonna be able to sit down and talk about this then?
I can't see that happening anytime soon now. But you should send someone down or come down yourself to get Mom stuff. And if you don't do it soon, we're just gonna throw it all away anyway.
You seriously need to stop acting like this, Gary. You literally kicked our Mom out of her own house. You don't even own the place where you're staying.
Well, I'm the oldest child, so this house is gonna be mine eventually anyway. I just hurried up the process is all. You don't have the right to tell me anything. Hey, Sandy, what the heck is going on? Why did your husband and some real estate agent guy just show up to my house?
I'm not sure what you mean. What seems to be the problem with that?
Well, the real estate agent guy was talking about the house being sold, but is that true? I had no idea about any of this, and I want answers.
Well, the owner of the house is Mom, right? So Mom can do whatever she wants with the house.
But my wife and I are living here. What the heck are we supposed to do?
Leave the house, probably. I mean, it's not like you can have any legal say in what can be done with the house anyways.
Well, sure, but Mom could have at least talked to us about this a little bit before going off and selling the place.
And just why should she have to talk to the people who stole her house from her in the first place?
But the only reason I kicked her out in the first place was because she was bullying Eve. I had a good reason to do what I did, and Mom doesn't.
Even if Mom was bullying Eve, you two are still gonna have to leave her house no matter what.
But why? That isn't fair at all. We didn't even do anything wrong.
It doesn't matter one way or the other. Mom owns the house and she can do what she likes with it. That's just how the law works. You tried to kick her out of her house, forgetting that she has the final say in what happens to it. If you were worried about your wife getting bullied, then you should have moved out and found a place to live.
But that still isn't fair. Why should Eve and I have to do anything when it was Mom who was acting the way she was?
Do you still not understand that you're asking the wrong person the wrong questions?
Okay, fine. Go ahead and tell Mom that she can move back in with Eve and I.
Are you serious? You really think that Mom is gonna come back after all this?
Tell her that we're willing to talk and work something out and that maybe Eve and I took things a little far.
That is not going to be enough to get Mom to move back in with you.
And just what makes you say that, huh? I'm not asking for your opinion, I'm asking for you to pass a message on to Mom.
But you told me that I should just take Mom in and leave the house to you two. Besides, I already know that Mom wasn't doing any bullying of any kind.
And just what makes you say that, huh?
Because I know that instead, it was you and Eve who were bullying Mom this whole time.
Why would you say something like that? Do you have any proof of this at all?
Do I have any proof that you and Eve were bullying Mom? No, I do not. But Mom has plenty of it.
What do you mean?
I mean that you thought you would have had Mom wrapped around your finger and that she would let you get away with anything. You even made her pay for all the groceries and utilities, all while making her clean up the house by herself.
No, that isn't true, and you still haven't shown me any proof.
Oh, right, the proof. Well, you know how Mom is always looking forward to getting a new phone, right? Anyways, since she knows how to use them, she has plenty of recordings of you saying all kinds of horrible things to her. She showed them to me, and now I know all about how you've been treating her.
But I only said the things I said to her because she was so mean to Eve.
And do you have any proof of that, Gary?
No, I don't, but...
Well, then I guess I have no proof but to take Mom's word over yours, huh? If anything, the fact that you both are still living in Mom's house is all the proof that I need. That was always what you were after, wasn't it? That's why you wanted to move in, to kick Mom out?
Gosh, you're wrong! You don't even know what you're talking about!
Then why is it only after you realize that the house is being sold that you asked for Mom to come back and live with you two? Do you really think I wouldn't be able to see right through that? Well, Mom has no intention of letting you get away with this at all.
So then, she's really actually selling the house.
That's right. And that means that you two should start packing your things. You'll have until the end of the month until the place needs to be empty.
So, we don't even get a whole month?
I don't have all the details, I'm just telling you what Mom wanted me to pass on. And don't forget, you were the ones who accused her of all the things that she never really did.
Well, tell her that I'm really sorry for everything, okay?
So you admit to bullying her out of her own house?
Yes, it's true, but the truth is that I'm in some financial troubles right now.
I figured as much, actually. It was obvious when you were so intent on taking the house all for yourselves.
I know I shouldn't have done that, but I just thought that if I could use Mom to save some money that I could get myself out of that debt.
And you had to kick her out to do that? Well, now you've gone too far.
Why can't I reach Mom's phone? I just want to talk to her.
That's Mom's way of telling you that she wants nothing to do with you anymore.
Please, I'm her son. She has to talk to me.
You used Mom up until she couldn't stand it anymore. This is what you deserve.
Sandy, please, you know that I didn't want any of this to happen, so you have to tell Mom that I'm really sorry. I just need one more chance and some money.
I don't want anything to do with you either, so you can just save it, Gary. After that, Gary and Eve stayed in our mom's house as long as they could until they were finally forced out. My husband called in a favor with a friend who owned a moving company. Suddenly, there were 5 burly guys standing outside my mom's house, all taking Gary and Eve's things and stacking them up in the yard. They forced Gary and Eve to hire them, loaded up their boxes, and those two were never seen again. I heard later that Gary had declared bankruptcy and never heard from him again. My mom and I also made the effort to not keep up with any news regarding Gary and Eve. Not long after that, I finally gave birth and was really grateful to have my mom around the house to help out. We did end up finding her own house, however, and she enjoys living alone again. Her new house is close enough that we can always go over and visit, and she's welcome at our place anytime.